We spoke yesterday about the life script of a person. And in this life script, we have a number of other people involved. Be it that we need other people for a certain amount of support, emotional, other support, especially the support for our self-esteem, or that we need another person for our feeding or sexual needs. But in very many cases, our life script demands marriage. And the trouble in a marriage starts if the spouse does not fit into that life script. In other words, if a person is not in love with his spouse, but with an image what the spouse should be. Now, very rarely does the image of the spouse and the real person fit. So there be frustrations and difficulties. And especially if a person is cursed with perfectionism, then you're really in for trouble. The curse of perfectionism is the worst thing that can befall any person. Once you're perfectionist, you have a yardstick. You can always beat yourself and beat other people because you demand the impossible. And once you start demanding the impossible from your partner, then the resentment starts, the blaming game, irritations, and so on and so on. So, in our marriage game, we can't do much more than just playing games here and finding some basis for where people stand with each other. Let's start with the same kind of communication approach as we used in the awareness. In other words, let's first get you two here. Will you face the enemy? So, your name is?
Claire.
Claire.
Don.
Don. And I would like you to do this in exchange, withdrawing to yourself with the word I, and then come back to Don and say you. Go back again, I and you do the same. Shuttle and see to what degree a simple communication is possible. And what we are most interested in, of course, is what kind of communication do you avoid? Because there are plenty of catastrophic expectation. If I tell you what I really think about you, you will not like me, you will leave me, or whatever the catastrophic expectations are.
I find it hard to go into myself. I want to go out to you and assure you that I'm with you.
Now, go back again.
I go into myself. And I want to be myself, too. I want...
Are you aware that you're full of good intentions? I want this. You're not telling us what you're aware of, but what you want. In other words, you're not in the now. You're not telling us what you're doing, but what you want. Okay, Don?
I'm back to the clutch in myself here. And I find it's easy to go into myself and more difficult to come to you. And I think I was aware, I am not remembering, but I was aware that when I looked at all the people, I didn't look at you when I sat here before.
This is very simple, clear symptom of avoidance. If you avoid looking at another person, means that you're not open. Yeah. You too.
I'm aware of tension inside myself. Sort of throbbing. Quivering sort of expectation. I'm aware of your calm. Uncertainty. What's underneath? I'm aware of my inadequacy to express myself. Holding myself. Being unsure.
Are you aware of your voice?
It's quiet.
Can you talk to Don about your voice? What you're doing to him with your voice?
Well, I hope it's not so quiet that you have to strain to hear me.
You're hoping. What are you doing?
I'm talking softly.
Yeah.
Hesitantly. Uncertainly.
By the way, this low voice is always a symptom of hidden cruelty. It's one of the best means of torturing other people.
It's not always so.
Don?
I'm aware that I am calmer now. I think I am calm partly because I feel your uncertainty and your fear. And this places a demand on my being here and present. Inside I feel a kind of rigidity. I think I'm trying to say to you.
Are you aware that you always say, I think, I'm trying? Could you tell us what you're aware of?
I'm aware of a sense that I'm becoming like concrete. Sort of setting.
Sort of.
Like I am setting. Moving towards rigidity. Everything is still.
What do you want from me?
I feel...
What do you want from me?
Well, I was going to start to speak to him. I guess I was checking with you.
You're checking up on me.
No, I didn't feel that way. I guess it was guidance that I was doing the right thing.
Could you tell him the same?
I don't like to tell him the same, that I'm looking to him for guidance. But I realize my attitude has implied that. I was going to say I felt resentful that you became rigid when you felt that I was fearful, that I can handle my own fearfulness. And it made me feel quite strong.
Okay, let's have couple number 2. I don't want to go any deeper yet. I just want to get the first idea of how much communication is there across. Your name is?
Russ.
Your name is?
Penny.
Look once more. The experiment is so simple. I don't mind you to be somewhat rigid about it. First, what am I aware in regard to myself, and what am I aware in regard to you? What am I aware in regard to myself? What am I aware in regard to you? If this is too much of a task, please say so. And we have to deal with your difficulty in comprehending such a simple request.
I'm aware that I'm afraid of what you're going to say. I can listen.
Your turn.
I'm aware of the tenseness in my chest. I'm aware of your looking at me very intensely. You seem to want me to carry the ball.
Is this what you're aware of, or is this what you think?
That's what I think.
I'm aware that I want you to do that. I want you to get me primed. I'm aware that I'm...
Are you aware of your heads to do this? Now, please try the most difficult task of all. Stick to the obvious. It's obvious that you just made this movement with your head. It's obvious that you're holding your hands this way. It's obvious that you're nodding your head. Try to get to the difficult task of simplicity.
I'm aware that I'm trying too hard. Trying to relax and trying to hold on at the same time.
How are you doing this trying?
With my hands. And my body is rigid. And I'm rigid.
No. What are you aware of there?
Your hands are saying something. Quietly, softly. You're leaning away from me.
No. First time that he sees. Yeah. Now go back to yourself again. You talk, please.
I'm aware of the pressure in my right arm. I'm aware that I'm leaning away from you. I feel myself pulling back away from you. I'm afraid of being sucked in.
You talk.
I want to suck you in.
Are you aware of what? Another difficult moment is that we are very much inclined to do this mind-fucking bit. Talk. Just tell us your response, what you actually feel. You feel yourself sitting on a chair. You feel yourself nodding the head. So, be simple.
I feel I'm putting a lot of pressure on my right arm.
That's it. See, this I believe.
I'm holding myself back with my left.
Yeah. Now we get a bit to reality. Now, open your eyes again. What do you see? What do you hear?
It's like it can't come all the way out.
Okay, thank you. Next couple. It's unbelievable how people live together, how little communication there is between them. Once you get to the breast, what's called breast tech level, to the real level.
I'm aware of,
What's your name?
Anne.
Anne, no, Bill.
I'm aware of my heart pounding. And that I'm aware of sort of sitting in this chair very, sort of solidly back in the chair. With my arms kind of propped on each side. And I'm aware of you looking very intently into my eyes. And breathing more quickly. Or at least I'm aware of your breathing.
Bill?
My heart is thumping. And I'm leaning a little bit on my left arm. Another thing, I seem totally to be settling down. Sort of coming to center. I see you. I see your face as being soft, but a bit tense. I see your right shoulder just very slightly tensed, and
Are you aware of what your eyes are doing?
they're wandering around.
What are you avoiding when you look at her?
I'm trying to find myself right now, I think. And I'm not prepared to deal with what's out there until I come back here.
Very good. Close your eyes and withdraw. This is a very good example. He's not ready to cope. So here it needs more time for withdrawing into himself and get support from within. What do you experience?
I experience the need really to readjust my position now and to come right down to center. Just sort of come back to,
Take your time. When you're ready to come back, come back.
I'm experiencing some tension in my knees now. My legs are shaking a bit.
Now, let's integrate these two things. Tell her of your inner experiences.
I'm feeling a bit trembling now. I'm feeling a bit uncertain, nervous, twitchy. But that's changing now. I'm seeing you now.
Ah. You noticed what happened? From the conceptual, from the intentional, to the attention, to using this experience as a means of communication. Now, he doesn't hide his trembling anymore. He gives it to her. And as soon you express yourself genuinely, all discomfort disappears. Or, if you feel uncomfortable, you can be sure that you're not in honest communication. Okay, thank you. I am I, and you are you.
And you are you.
I'm not in this world to live up to your expectations.
I'm not in this world to live up to your expectations.
And you're not in this world to live up to mine.
You're not in this world to live up to mine.
I is I,
I is I,
and you is you.
and you is you.
Amen. So, let's have some couples to see what they can do with this Gestalt prayer.
You expect me home every night at 3 o'clock, and I'm not going to be there.
I don't think I expect that.
I think you do.
I like to feel I share with you a certain amount. But I sometimes feel you're unwilling to share with me. I really am trying to be I, and perhaps I don't let you be you enough. And the more I try to be I, it doesn't seem to always be enough. It seems I have to be that much more. I never seem to catch up with myself.
Well, if you're feeling a bit bad about being yourself and dissatisfied, that's not my problem.
No. I guess I worry then about what you are, perhaps too much. In addition to worrying about where I am.
If you're worrying about where I am or what I'm doing.
Yeah. Now you see what happened. I gave them a task. And immediately the whole Gestalt approach is thrown out of the window. No more talking about the present experiences. No more talking about what's really happening. Instead of really communicating on the level on which they are, they start the famous mind-fucking game, which finally will end up in the blaming game. Let's try again, but at the same time, stay with the now. Always tell the other person your reaction, your thoughts. And the simplest way is to think aloud. As a matter of fact, I guarantee each one of you to become a writer within 6 weeks if they can sit down on the typewriter and write down exactly each word as they think it. It would go like this. Fritz told me I could become a writer in 6 weeks. I don't believe it. I think it's all rubbish. Now what shall I write now? I don't know. I'm stuck. Nothing comes. To hell with Fritz. You know, if you exactly and honestly, just as each word as it appears in your thinking, because thinking is nothing but sub-vocal talking. What we usually do in our so-called thinking is we rehearse, we try out, and let it go through a censor, and then let only those sentences out as they are required to manipulate the other person. See, we usually produce sentences to hypnotize the other person, to persuade, to deceive, to convince. Very seldom do we speak in order to express ourselves and bring ourselves forward. The result is that all those encounters between human beings usually are sterile. Usually either mind-fucking or manipulation. So try again on this basis, to see on the basis of the expectation thing, and but at the same time, I experience now this, and so on. And don't rehearse, just bring out the therapy situation is a safe emergency situation. You can try out all kinds of things and to realize and realize that the world doesn't fall to pieces if you get angry or if you're honest. And then you go out into the world and you might get some more confidence to do a little bit more honest being in the world, and you see that people will appreciate honesty much more than you expect them to. Sure, many people will be offended and peeved, but those are mostly the people who are not worthwhile cultivating as friends.
I see that you seem apprehensive and you're clutching at your fingers and searching for something to say.
I've noticed that too, that I'm pinching myself. And I've been wondering, well, why am I doing this, fiddling with my thing?
Yeah. Now, what a person does on the non-verbal level usually applies to that person which is implicit or explicitly in the thing. If he pinches himself, it means he wants to pinch her. We usually do to ourselves what we want to do to others. So pinch her.
That was a gentle pinch. Maybe I think that there's some truth in that, because I was saying to you just before we got up here, you should have told that Dre.
You were pushing.
I was being a pusher. It was none of my, and I think it was none of my business what you did, because I also have a dream.
Yeah.
Another most important nonverbal expression is the mask a person is wearing. Now you notice, she is grimacing all the time, and he's always wearing the serious professor face. Talk a bit about, to each other about your faces. What do you see? What do you observe?
Well, I like your face, but it does smile a lot, and I think it reflects an uneasiness, and you're trying to do something to people with your smile.
He's interpreting her.
Well, I agree.
And every interpretation, of course, is an interference. You tell the other person what they think, what they feel. They don't let them discover themselves.
Well, I think it's quite true. I mask how I feel by smiling. And I don't like to hurt people, or maybe be too honest. Maybe that's... I find you look quite steadily and honestly. Quite quizzical.
How don't you like to hurt him? Tell him, I don't like to hurt you by so-and-so.
Maybe by being honest. Showing that maybe I'm too dependent, or wanting something that you're unwilling to give.
You see, when she stops grimacing, she can be beautiful.
You are beautiful.
Stops the conversation.
A sentence which I would like you to use, those are two, let's call it gimmicks for the time being. Two gimmicks I would like you to introduce here. One is, be very honest with where you stand. Like, I'm stuck. I don't know what to say now. You embarrass me. It's very simple if you're aware of yourself, then just to make that statement that immediately produces some kind of reaction communication. The other is to translate the famous projection screen it into I or you. It takes all the responsibility. Okay, let's take the next couple. Who was number 2? So start also with the Gestalt prayer and then see what you can do with it. You say this to him and you say this to her.
I expect you to work. You expect me to work. I expect you to be interested in my interest. You expect me to forget mine.
You notice the smirk that came up in her? Just keep your eyes and ears open.
I expect you to be interested in my interests. I'm blank. I expect you to communicate to me, but I don't expect myself to communicate to you right now. I don't like that.
I expect you to have some of the answers, and you expect me to have all of them.
I expect you to have children. I expect you to be a good mother.
I can see from here whether you're looking at her. Do you? Yeah. Say this again and look at her.
I expect you to be a good mother. To me? I expect you don't want to be that either.
I know you expect that.
I expect you to give me a hell of a time in that respect. And I expect that until I stop wanting that. I expect your support in that respect.
Now let's work a little bit on this. Put that mother you want, the wife mother, in that chair and talk to her.
I want your support. I want your love. I want your guidance.
Okay, now, be this, change seats, and give him all he wants. Give him support, guidance, love, cuddling, the whole works.
That's not my role.
Say this to him.
That's not my role. I'm not supposed to do that.
Fake it. At least I expect you to have an image of what you want. What is important is that many people still carry their parents with them and need a mother and so on, even sometimes if they are 50, 60, and they do this in order to maintain their status as a child. It's part of their reluctance to grow up. So, be the mother, give him what he wants.
I don't know how.
Okay, change seats. Tell the mother how. Tell that mother, wife, what you want. What do you experience now?
Animosity, anger.
You don't sound angry. You don't look Jewish. But say this to that mother.
I'm angry at you. I want your love and attention, but I feel I can't get it.
Okay, now, kid, take the seat and give him love and attention. Gus, I love you. I give you all the attention you want.
You know I love you, son, but you have to be a man. You can't do those things, and for those things you have to stand on your own feet. You have to be the man of the family. And I'm not a man, I'm a little boy. I want the things a little boy wants.
Really give him, stuff him with chicken soup.
I can't put forth.
Yeah. You're looking at me. What do you want from me now? As soon as I asked you, your eyes went away from me. What's going on? Are you into the camera?
I'm worried I'm just not seeing anything.
So we are probably here in an impasse. In the impasse, you get confused, dumb, go on a merry-go-round, repeating the whole thing all over, try to get out of it, but you're stuck. And the two really seem to be stuck with their expectations. Once they have established the script, this goes on forever and ever and ever if you don't get through the impasse. And this is, let's call it my pride. I think with Gestalt-Therapy, for the first time that we're capable of going through the impasse. If you don't get through the impasse, all you're interested in is to keep the status quo. Whether in therapy, whether you're in a conflict, whether in your marriage, all you achieve is retain the status quo. At best, change therapists, change marriage partners, change the nature of the inner conflicts. But the nature of this being torn apart remains. The life script remains unchanged, though the actors might replace each other.